Hey, what's up guys? This is Jedith, and this is a little bit of an impromptu video. We got some surprise news late this evening of changes that were actually hotfixed and pushed to the game today. There were some that are announcements of what's going to be happening later this year, probably in like late October and November. So I think the first and most important thing, the one piece of info that everyone is here to see, is the updated visuals for Demonsurge. Now, if you remember, Demonsurge has gone through a bunch of iterations in terms of its visuals. It started just as a very subtle puff of green smoke, and then they fixed it. They made it, a little bit more of a green explosion. But now, Demonsurge is blindingly big. But I love it. I think it's a massive improvement from what it was, and it's very clear now when you are playing with a Fellscarred Demon Hunter, you see it right away. So I'll show you what it looks like. By the way, that's a glyph for my immolation aura. Before you ask, your immolation aura might be green. I have a glyph. You can buy the glyph too from the auction house. It'll make your immolation aura red. Anyways, see how big that is? It's massive. So Demonsurge is much bigger, much brighter, much more obvious, and I think it's awesome. I think this is a great change. It was just hotfixed into the game late last night, so if you log in today, try to use some Demonsurges, yours should look just like this. Now, of course, we don't have everything we've asked for because we still don't have updated visuals for the new I-Beam, Abyssal Gaze, or Consuming Fire, or Sigil of Doom. I think those might be coming maybe later down the line, but hey, we got an updated Demonsurge visual. Let's pick our battles. I think this is fantastic. Now, the other hotfixes that were pushed to the game today. We have Sigil of Doom now overrides Sigil of Flame, while Precise Sigils is talented. So what was happening here is if you were talented into Precise Sigils on either Vengeance or Havoc, it would glitch and it would bug, and it would essentially make your Sigil of Doom unusable. Didn't matter if you were using it through a macro or just trying to use the straight ability, it was basically bricking Sigil of Doom. And the only way to fix it was to untalent Precise Sigils, log out of the game completely, log back in, and then it would work. So it sounds like they have fixed that issue, which is great to see because I had a lot of people asking me about that one. The other changes are Eldraki Reaver. The global cooldown triggered by Reaver's Glaive is now reduced by haste. So this has gone through some changes as well. Initially, Reaver's Glaive was off the global cooldown, which was very, very strange because it was sort of encouraging you to macro it into other abilities and use like cast sequence macros and spell queuing craziness. So they fixed that. They put it on the global cooldown, but they didn't add it to the allow list where it would be affected by haste. So all of your abilities, after you use them, they go onto a global cooldown, and there's a lockout before you can use another ability. That amount of time before you can use another ability, generally for most abilities, is affected by haste. So the more haste you have, the less time that actually is. While all of your other abilities were coming up off cooldown sooner, and you're able to use them, Reaver's Glaive was locked at 1.5 seconds, no matter how much haste you had. So they've gone back and they've fixed that. It is now reduced by haste. It works just like everything else. Now this does affect Eldraki Reaver's output in terms of their damage, but all of the sims have already been accounting for this change, and it's not really going to change all that much in the end. Then we have Warblade's Hunger is now correctly triggered by Annihilation. So Warblade's Hunger is part of the Eldraki Reaver tree. Right here, consuming a soul fragment causes your next Chaos Strike to deal 11,000 additional damage. Whenever you consume a soul fragment, it would then make your next Chaos Strike and assumedly Annihilation do more damage. It wasn't working for Annihilation, but there's still a problem with this. So when you consume a soul fragment, you get a buff that says your next Chaos Strike or Annihilation will do damage. There's a strange bug where when you hit with Wounded Quarry, it gets rid of the Warblade's Hunger buff. So there's something very strange going on there. We have reported this bug, and we'll see if it gets fixed. It seems like they're on sort of a crusade right now of fixing all of these bugs. So hopefully they get to that. It's sort of a lesser known one, but the fact that they have, for the most part fixed Warblade's Hunger is very good to see. All right, and now these updates will be coming later in the year for the anniversary event, which will be happening, we can kind of assume probably the end of October, November, around that area. Sigil of Spite's icon has been updated. So Sigil of Spite used to be Elysian Decree, which also used to just be one of our covenants from Shadowlands. So now that it's a built-in sort of Demon Hunter ability, they decided to make it a little bit more Demon Hunter-esque, one step at a time. So first we got the name change, then we got the color change, and now we have the full-up icon update. Sigil of Spite's icon has been updated. They've also updated the Hunt, which was the Arden Wailed Covenant ability, which was blue. We've updated it to be green, and now we've updated the icon as well. So I can show you what the icons look like. It's these right here. So this is the Sigil of Spite ability icon here, and this is the Hunt. So the Hunt one is a slightly updated version of what the previous one was. It's just green now instead of blue, and it, they kind of updated the graphic a little bit. The Elysian Decree Sigil of Spite one it's a brand new icon, and I think it looks great, but I have one major concern, and that's the fact that it is also, again, just a green sigil. So we now have 2 green sigils to have on our bars, and I think the visual clarity and the ability to quickly decipher what ability is what, it's not there. It's not there, because if you look down on my bars here, this is Sigil of Flame, right? It's green. It's pretty much the same shade of green. And we have this. The good thing with sigils has been, up until now is, Sigil of Flame is green. Sigil of Misery has been purple. Elysian Decree, when we had it, was blue. Sigil of Chains is yellow. While I think it looks good, I kind of wish it was a different color. But then on the other hand, what color could they make it, right? Because the ability itself, when you use it, is green. So realistically, what could they have made it? I don't know. What I might consider is looking into ways that you can actually modify the icons of your abilities in-game. Maybe I'll make a video on that in the future. If that's something you guys want to see, put a comment down below and let me know. Okay, and now a major one. I am so excited about this one. So Focused Hatred now provides bonus damage beyond one target only, with bonus reducing by 10% for each target beyond one. So what this means, Focused Hatred is this talent in Felskard. Demonsurge deals 50% increased damage when it strikes a single target. The problem with this was, as soon as your Demonsurge hit anything else aside from your main target, even if it was an accident, right? Like if there was a critter, if there was a random mob that comes out in the encounter that just dies super quick, anything like that. If your Demonsurge hit that second target, it would just immediately cancel out and nullify the effect of this talent on your main target. So what this means now, if you're fighting one target, Demonsurge will do a 50% increased damage. If your Demonsurge hits 2 targets, it will hit both targets for 40% increased damage each. If your Demonsurge hits 3 targets total, it takes off another 10%. So it'll be hitting 3 targets for 30% each. 4 targets now, it's going down to 20% each. And 5 targets, 10% each. If you go beyond 5 targets, you're doing 6 and beyond. There's no added damage to Demonsurge. So why this is good is that if you're ever just fighting a single mob, a single raid boss, you're gonna get the 50%. Now, if you're ever fighting a raid boss or a Mythic Plus boss that has 2 targets, so you have a 2-target cleave encounter, you're getting 40% increased Demonsurge damage on both of those targets. So this is actually a large buff to our cleave damage, which is something that we kind of struggled with Felskard. Our single target had the potential to be decent with the buffs to Burning Blades and everything else. Our massive AoE was super good because Demonsurge is uncapped and it would just hit a ton of enemies and do massive damage. But it was the in-between where we kind of struggled. 2-target cleave, 3-target cleave, etc. So this is actually going to help with that immensely. And I am very, very happy to see this. This is a great change. And then there's some Vengeance changes. If some of you play Vengeance, I'll just cover it quickly. Metamorphosis now heals you for 40% of your maximum health. Instead of modifying your health directly, casting Metamorphosis while in demon form no longer heals you. Triggering Last Resort always heals you for 40% of your base maximum health. So the developer's note here is this cleans up some edge cases in Metamorphosis where activating it while demon form is active would sometimes not heal you and sometimes heal you a reduced amount. This is an increase to the healing received when triggering Last Resort while in demon form. Meta's health restoration will now also appear as healing in combat logs. Okay, and for the, oh boy, here we go. The 20th anniversary event, they decided they're going to redo all of the tier 2 tier sets from back in the day. And of course, Demon Hunters, Death Knights, monks, None of those classes were around back then. So we got completely new designed, new concepts for our tier sets. And this is what we were given. I hate this. I do not like this one bit. I think this is probably one of the worst silhouettes I've ever seen from a tier set in my life. This is the worst tier set I have ever laid eyes upon. It has the straight out shoulders, which are just horrible, horrible. This is a horrible silhouette to give a character. You have the cone head. You have a variety of different shades of green happening here. We have the bright, almost lime green runes on the belt here, but that shade of green doesn't repeat itself anywhere else in the set. The gems are a deep shade of green. The slashes on these horns are a different shade of green. We have this very strange chest piece that I honestly very much dislike. I think it looks like questing gear from BFA. This is just, it's so predictable. All of our tier sets have been gold trim, bandages underneath, put some green felly stuff in there, call it a day. I'm just so sick of it, you know? I would like something interesting. And this compared to some of the other tier sets that the other classes have received or are going to receive for this anniversary event, I think it's just almost laughable. But I wanted to show you guys this anyways, just so you could see it. I do have to admit, it looks slightly better on a female blood elf. This is what it looks like on the female. But even still, I don't really like it. I think it's just like all the other sets we've ever had. We have 4, 5, 6, 7 sets that look identical to this. It's the same concept. Gold, green, red, bandages. It's just phoned in. But hey, at least we got updated Demonsurge visuals, right? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.